The roar of the crowd was the soundtrack, a symphony of excitement and anticipation. To a spectacle that felt both magical and impossible, a dance between two worlds orchestrated for human entertainment. The audience gasped, mesmerized by the sheer size and power of the creature before them. Thousands watched, their eyes wide with wonder, as a trainer danced with a giant of the deep, a killer whale. It was a ballet of trust and skill, a carefully choreographed display of interspecies connection. The trainer, Maris Ellington, was known for her deep connection with these animals, a bond that seemed to transcend the boundaries of language and species. She dedicated years to understanding their behavior, their needs, and their individual personalities, especially a massive bull orca named Kael. He was a magnificent creature, a powerful symbol of the ocean's majesty, now confined to a concrete pool. Their performances seemed to blur the line between wild animal and willing performer. But the reality was far more complex, a delicate balance between control and instinct. But beneath the surface, tension and misunderstood warnings simmered. The orca's intelligence and power were undeniable, a constant reminder of their true nature. Maris dedicated her life to these creatures, believing in the bridge she was building between worlds, a connection that she hoped would foster understanding and respect. Yet, the danger was always present, born not of malice but of the conflict between captivity and wildness, the inherent limitations of a life lived within concrete walls. Maris's final performance would end not in triumph but in tragedy, sending shockwaves through the industry. The events that unfolded that day would forever change the way we view these magnificent creatures in captivity. Her story forces us to question our relationship with the natural world and the well-being of the animals we claim to admire. It compels us to consider the ethical implications of keeping such intelligent and social beings confined for our entertainment. Today, trainers no longer swim with killer whales during shows, a rule forged in tragedy. The water is now a barrier, not a stage, a constant reminder of the inherent risks involved in this complex relationship. This is the legacy of Maris Ellington, a legacy of love, loss, and a profound shift in our understanding of these magnificent creatures. The 1980s and 90s were the golden age of marine parks, a time when the public's fascination with marine life reached new heights. These parks offered a glimpse into the underwater world, captivating audiences with spectacular displays of animal behavior, where killer whales were the undisputed stars, their intelligence and power on full display. They were the main attraction, drawing crowds from far and wide, and trainers were celebrated as heroes, their connection with these magnificent creatures seemingly unbreakable. They were the face of the park, embodying the spirit of adventure and discovery. Maris Ellington's passion began not in a stadium filled with roaring applause, but on a life-changing whale-watching trip as a child, an experience that would forever alter the course of her life. Witnessing wild orcas in their element, free and untamed in their natural habitat. It was a stark contrast to the controlled environment of the marine park. That moment inspired her, igniting a flame of curiosity and a deep respect for these incredible animals, to dedicate her life to understanding their world and protecting their future. To understanding and connecting with these animals on a deeper level, forging bonds built on mutual understanding. She pursued marine biology with unwavering determination, eager to learn everything she could about the ocean and its inhabitants. Volunteered at rescue centers, dedicating her time to helping injured and stranded marine animals, and eventually became a top trainer, a position that allowed her to work closely with killer whales every day. The work was demanding, pushing her to her limits both physically and mentally, requiring immense patience as building trust with these intelligent creatures took time and dedication. Intuition, the ability to understand their unspoken needs and emotions, and physical skill, to keep up with their incredible agility and power in the water. Maris believed her bond with the orcas was special, especially Kael, a connection that transcended the typical trainer-animal relationship, was built on trust and mutual respect, a partnership based on understanding and affection. She saw herself as an ambassador for these magnificent creatures, hoping to inspire conservation through her work, educating the public about the importance of protecting their natural habitats. The bond between trainer and whale was everything, the heart and soul of the performance. Built over countless hours of dedicated interaction, of care and training, a testament to the power of patience and understanding. Maris's gentle approach set her apart, earning her the respect and admiration of both her colleagues and the animals she worked with. And the crowds adored her, captivated by her genuine connection with the orcas. Every performance felt like a validation of her life's work, a moment to share the beauty and intelligence of these animals with the world. But the world they created inside the park was beautiful, a carefully constructed environment designed to showcase the orcas' abilities, and deeply unnatural, a far cry from the vast and complex ecosystems they were born to inhabit. The cheering crowd saw harmony, a seamless blend of human and animal interaction. Maris saw a fragile balance, a delicate ecosystem that required constant vigilance and care. She believed in the magic of the performances, the power to inspire awe and wonder in the hearts of the audience. But she also sensed the risks, the potential for harm, and the ethical dilemmas inherent in keeping these animals in captivity. That tension between the wonder and the worry would ultimately define her legacy, shaping her path and influencing her decisions in profound ways. Kael, the park's dominant orca, had spent nearly his entire life in captivity. To the public, he was a gentle giant, but behind the scenes, signs of stress and frustration grew. Maris noticed subtle changes. Kael logging motionless at the surface, rubbing his jaw raw on concrete, refusing familiar cues. These behaviors, signs of psychological distress, were documented by Maris and others. Trainers and vets grew concerned as Kael became increasingly unpredictable. Displacement behaviors, jaw-popping, fin slaps, were warnings of agitation. Despite mounting evidence, the pressure to keep the shows going was immense. Maris and colleagues urged management to give Kael a break and improve his environment. Minor changes were made, but the core problem remained. The demands of the show outweighed the warnings. The decision was to manage the risk, not remove it. The cracks in paradise were widening. A devastating consequence was looming. The day of the attack began like any other, a seemingly normal day at the marine park. The stadium was packed with excited visitors, all eager to witness the spectacle of the Orca show, set to an upbeat musical score. But behind the scenes, Maris, a seasoned trainer, sensed something was wrong, a subtle shift in the atmosphere. Kael was agitated, unusually so. He was ignoring cues, his movements erratic and unpredictable, a stark contrast to his usual disciplined behavior. Despite her misgivings and the clear warning signs, the show, with its demanding schedule and eager audience, went on. The pressure to perform was immense. During the grand finale, the climax of the performance, Maris, with a deep breath and a brave face, entered the water to perform the signature trick, a moment of trust and connection. Kael approached, seemingly as rehearsed, but instead of lifting her gracefully as he had done countless times before, he suddenly and unexpectedly pulled her under the surface. At first, the audience, accustomed to the theatrics of the show, thought it was simply a new dramatic part of the act. But beneath the deceptively calm surface, a desperate and terrifying struggle unfolded, hidden from the smiling faces above. Kael, a magnificent creature overwhelmed by the chronic stress of captivity, thrashed Maris violently, not out of malice or calculated aggression, but out of confusion, pent-up frustration, and a desperate attempt to break free. The crowd's cheers abruptly turned to horrified screams, a wave of panic washing over the stadium. The playful illusion shattered as the grim reality of the situation became horrifyingly clear. Emergency protocols were immediately enacted, a flurry of activity and desperate attempts to intervene. But despite their best efforts, it was tragically too late to save her. Maris's lifeless body surfaced, a stark and devastating image against the backdrop of what was supposed to be entertainment. The once pristine pool was now stained with tragedy, a visible symbol of the profound loss and the inherent dangers of their performance. The carefully constructed magic of the show shattered in an instant, replaced by a chilling silence and the weight of what had occurred. The horrific reality of the risks associated with keeping these intelligent and powerful creatures in captivity was now undeniable and impossible to ignore. The show, and in many ways, an entire era of marine park entertainment, ended abruptly and irrevocably in heartbreak and profound loss. The marine park industry, forever marked by this tragedy, would never be the same, ushering in a period of intense scrutiny and reform. After Maris's death, the park fell silent, shows suspended, and the industry faced public outrage. Investigations revealed a pattern of ignored warnings and inadequate safety measures. Maris's detailed logs became key evidence of Kael's distress. Regulators ruled that water work with killer whales was inherently dangerous and banned it. Trainers could no longer swim with orcas. Iconic images became relics of the past. New safety protocols were mandated, barriers, nets, and rapid response systems. The era of relying on intuition and trust was over. Physical safety and caution became the new standard. The changes after Maris's death reshaped every marine park in the U.S. Trainers became animal care specialists, focusing on enrichment and observation from a safe distance. Maris's notes on Kael's stress signals became essential training tools. Parks implemented strict protocols. Any sign of agitation could halt a show. The focus shifted from performance to animal welfare. Public debate about the ethics of captivity intensified. Animal welfare campaigns gained momentum, urging support for sanctuaries and ethical wildlife experiences. The public began demanding transparency and higher standards. Maris's tragedy empowered consumers to push for change. Her legacy continues to shape our relationship with captive wildlife. Today, Orca shows our transformed trainers remain on platforms, separated by barriers, and the water belongs to the whales. This change is Maris Ellington's legacy, a reminder that love and respect alone cannot erase the dangers of captivity. Her story forced us to confront the reality behind the spectacle. It highlighted the intelligence and emotional depth of these animals and their suffering in confinement. Honoring Maris means demanding accountability and supporting true conservation. Ethical wildlife experiences now prioritize animal well-being over entertainment. The story of Maris and Kael is a cautionary tale about the limits of our control over nature. Wild animals retain their wildness no matter how long they live among us. True respect means giving them the space and freedom they deserve. Maris's sacrifice urges us to choose compassion over spectacle, always.